Hey, if you want to discover what makes a quality lead, and most importantly, how you can turn your leads into higher quality leads so that you can make more sales and ultimately make more money, stick around and watch today's video through until the very end, as I'm about to share with you the single thing that determines whether or not a lead is quality and the biggest mistake most people make when trying to generate quality leads. With that said, if this is your first video, my name is Misha Wilson, and over the course of the last few years, I've now generated over $30 million in total sales online, really following the principles I'm about to share with you. My email list has been one of my single most valuable assets that has made me money over and over and over again, and the only reason it has is because I follow this exact formula. With that said, if you get value, as always, don't forget to let me know in the comments section below what your biggest takeaway is. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that bell icon notification button so that you're notified when I do more videos just like this. With that said, let's go ahead and dive right in.
Welcome to the Misha Wilson Show, where we show you how to create massive success online so you can enjoy the lifestyle of your wildest dreams.
All right, so what we're talking about here today is essentially what makes a high quality lead. And this video is inspired by a couple of students of mine asking me the question of essentially, how do I generate high quality leads? How do I generate responsive leads? And specifically wondering if it makes a difference, what you ask for on your capture page, your landing page. Now, if you don't know what a capture page is, be sure to check out the video in the description below. It's a simple page where you capture a name, maybe a first name, a last name, an email address, maybe a phone number, etc., to generate a lead, to get that lead on your list. And then from there, you can market to that lead. So I had a couple of different students come to me and ask me, Misha, what should I ask for on my capture page? Should I ask for a name? Should I ask for a first name and a last name and an email address and a phone number? Or should I just ask for an email address, etc.? And there's always this, essentially two trains of thoughts when it comes to what you should ask for on your capture page. The first train of thought is get the email address, and then from there get as many people through onto your list as humanly possible, and then start marketing to them. The second train of thought is that you will have a much higher quality lead if you ask for more upfront, right? So if you get a name, an email address, a phone number, they're more committed. Based on the fact that they're more committed, they're giving you more information upfront, they're gonna be a higher quality, more responsive lead moving forward. And the truth of the matter is that both of those things are true, all right? So sometimes both can be true. In the same breath, there is one critical distinction that you need to be aware of that I'll touch on in just a minute, and I'll give you the exact formula that we're now using in our business when it comes to what we're asking for on our landing pages. So yes, look, if you have a lead that comes through and gives you a first name, a last name, an email address, and a phone number, that is going to be a more responsive lead, right? You're gonna have more commitment, you're gonna have them more bought in, they're gonna be, kind of more okay with you marketing to them, coming in before they're even on their list, just because they know, all right, I'm giving a phone number, they're gonna text me, subconsciously at least they know. And so yes, that will be a more responsive lead. In the same time, in the same breath, what we find is when we ask for everything like that up front, what happens is our conversion rates will literally go from 40, sometimes 45, 50%. So 50% of people who hit the landing page will give us an email address. It'll drop all the way down to 10 or 15%. And even though it's a higher quality lead, it is not a 5 times higher quality lead. It's not a 4 times higher quality lead, right? And so ultimately what we find is the discrepancy, the conversion rate being hurt so much does not, essentially get made up for when it comes to the quality of the lead. Where on the flip side, if we just ask for an email address, we'll have really high quality conversions, right? We'll have really high conversions. And then from there, the lead quality will be slightly lesser, but we can do more on the back end when it comes to following up, building relationships, sending them to videos just like this, hosting webinars, providing value on webinars, sending them to podcast episodes, sending them to video clips, etc. All of those different relationship building mechanisms can be used when we have that email address that we can mail to. And then also oftentimes, whenever we're hosting a webinar, whenever we're hosting, something that's live that we're sending them to, when they register for that webinar, we are then collecting their first name, their last name, their phone, and their email address. So we're just kind of collecting it at a different time, which goes ahead and creates more response. All right, so I'm gonna get into exactly what we asked for in just a minute. But the first thing I really want to be clear on is it's not always as much about, all right, this is exactly what they've given me information-wise up front. This is the exact, I got their first name, their last name, their email address, therefore it's going to be a great lead. It's more the relationship that you foster with that lead. If you have a lead, they give you all that information, but then you don't do anything to foster a relationship with them. You don't provide value. You don't provide goodwill. You don't send them high quality video content. You don't shoot, podcast episodes and get in front of them providing value. You don't help genuinely solve their problems. Well, guess what? No matter what they gave you when they opted into your world, chances are they're not going to buy anything from you, right? Where if you have the most skeptical person in the world, the most skeptical lead in the world, and all they give you is their email address, but then after they do that, you provide value, you send out videos, you provide goodwill, you help genuinely solve their problems before you ask for money, you do all the things you need to do to build a relationship with that lead, well, guess what? All a lead is, at the end of the day, is a human being. All right, so if you want your leads to be more responsive, if you want your leads to engage more, if you want your leads to buy more, if you want your leads ultimately to be a long-term asset to you and your business, well, guess what? Maybe you should treat them like human beings, and they'll then reciprocate as human beings and engage with your content, watch your videos, buy your products, join your programs, spread your message, and ultimately be an incredibly highly responsive lead. So that's kind of the general principle lesson. Now, when it comes to what we specifically ask for on landing pages, just because I want to go ahead and deliver on my promise here, what we're actually doing on our landing pages right now is we're asking for a first name and an email address, and then we have a phone number that is optional for a free gift. All right, we find first name and email address, that keeps conversion rates high, right? So if we just ask for that, we can get 35 to 45% opt-in rates asking for a first name and an email address. Sometimes it's just an email address there. And then from there, we give them the ability to give us their phone number, but it's totally optional for a free gift. And so they don't feel obligated, they're not required to give the phone number, so it doesn't hurt conversions because people feel turned off because they're required to give a phone number. But we find about 60% of people give us their phone number, then we can build our SMS list, we can market that list through, of course, SMS marketing, and ultimately follow up through a couple of different mediums, which is a whole different video for a whole different day. But remember, ultimately the principle is if you want to have a high quality lead, understand that a lead is a human being, treat the lead just like you'd want to be treated as a human being, and ultimately the lead will be a more responsive lead. With that said, I hope you got a ton of value out of this video as always. If you did, don't forget to let me know in the comments section below what your biggest takeaway was. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that bell icon notification button so that you're notified when I do more videos just like this.